Welcome back for the third event of World Race Series 2021. This time we arrive at Daytona International Speedway to race on the short circuit, a 2.94 mile cutoff of the iconic superspeedway. We're racing here for the first time since World Race Series 2016, where an iconic NASCAR Battle of the Fates occurred. Daniel Kim won that day, and now he doesn't even drive in the series. And now 8 drivers will be looking to find their own way to victory lane here at Daytona today. It has plenty of opportunities for drifting and showing off, but it is a very narrow track, so it requires a lot of skill to drift properly on it. Our car class today is the Interceptors, high-performance cars, some purpose-built for competition. The combination of high horsepower and narrow track makes for a much more challenging round for the teams than the last two. So as usual, let's take a lap around to see what they're up against. So we start off on the tri-oval, which drops down into a gradual entry, which is actually quite tricky as it gets much sharper. It's a very difficult turn to make properly, and to drift fully through it. Next up is a small S-turn, followed by a big straight, then a very good drift corner, followed by an even bigger straight. This straight is great for slaloms, but it's also very narrow, so it requires a lot of skill to drift with it, and it's almost impossible to do slaloms on it without at least going off track once. Then there is 2 sharp turns with a straight in between. Then another straightaway, followed by a gradual turn that can produce very good drifting. Followed by another, which drivers can pull a crossover maneuver on. Then one final corner before moving on to the main oval. Here drivers have a huge amount of room to pull huge slides off, but be careful or you just might spin out. Then our track ends after the final Rolex sign on the backstretch, as we won't be going on the main oval for this event, at least past the backstretch anyways. So that's Daytona's short circuit. As you can see, it will be a big challenge for these higher horsepower cars. But with higher classes, we have, theoretically, better drivers. And this is as the point stand before starting today. Wangan still in top, with the main line and Bump and Run trailing behind. Heavy Metal has recovered from its points hole, and now Old Glory sits in last. I think this chart will once again get shaken up today, though. Here's the running order for today. As usual, ordered with faster qualifying times last. And so without further ado, let's begin. First up is No Curry, driving a VW Golf for the main line. No Curry was originally a stock Cochise driver, but since he was confirmed to have COVID before Yas Marina, he was switched with Paco Tacos. So he now drives today. And to keep up with the faster cars, his car has received a bit of upgrades, including high-performance engine parts, drift springs, and most notably, a turbo. And he's off. That turbo creating massive wheel spin, 10 points off the bat, and a little slide for 30 points. A good drift to start off, if not a little sloppy, 200 points. Okay, a little weak through there, but he keeps it going. Now into the next turn. That's beautiful. Awesome drift, and he keeps it going. Now for slaloms. And off track a little. That'll cost him. Okay, he's straight. And that's worth a whopping 1,000 points for all of that. Okay, early slide into this turn. Can he hold it? Okay, rocking it slow into the next one. And he's still sliding. Whoa, huge tease. Oh no, not the cones. Okay, and that's 850 points for all of it. After a weak entry, he slides on exit. He keeps it going. Oh, deep slide and into the grass. Not bad, though, for 500 points. He's racking them up. Oh, no drift through there. But 100 points to finish it off and onto the oval. big slaloms. And he passes the Rolex sign for 200 extra points for all of that. Now, will someone go put those cones back up? Alright, so that was a surprisingly great run, thanks in no small part to the makeshift turbo installed on that car. No Curry accumulated a total of 2,390 points. And now, for what the judges have to say. They've given a 7, a 9, and a 7, adding up to 4,690 points. A solid start to our night out at Daytona. Next up is Matso, driving for the bump and run. I helped the team get the third place at Yas Marina. Hopefully Matso can follow it up with a good run today. His Mustang is one of the slower cars in the Interceptor class, but being a Mustang, it is still quite capable. Nice stable slide into the first turn, 100 points. $200 points out of the S-tier. Nice. A strong drift there, and he keeps it going for slaloms. And he punts it onto the turns. 1,200 points for all of that. That's pretty impressive, keeping it mostly on track. Oh, I spoke too soon as he plows into the grass. But he keeps it going to recover for 100 points total. But it could have been a lot more. Whoa, close save. 200 points there and on the gas the whole time. A smooth drift for 250 points. And another for 200 points. Now for slaloms. And huge slaloms to spin out past the Rolex sign. 250 extra points at the end. So let's see where he stacks up against No Curry. And that's 2,300 points. Not quite past No Curry's total, only 30 points behind him. And those 30 points were ones earned for little slides at the start. So sometimes those things can actually make a difference. So let's see what the judges say. And it's an 8, a 9, and a 9. Pretty high praise, but definitely well deserved for such a clean run. That brings his total to 4,900, putting him out in front. Bump and Run leads the leaderboard now, but I suspect not for long. Next up are the Warriors, a duo in the BMW M4 GTS. With Fritz Masser driving this round, Nola will drive it if Comet can make it to the finale, which they just might. And he rips a fat one into turn 1, 200 points. Almost hitting the wall. And smooth into the S turns for 300 points total. A little sloppy into the next turn. But now slaloms and 450 points for all that. Oh, sweet drift through there. The precision in that slide. $400 points. And oh, a big tease, a little off track, 150 points. And here he goes. He keeps it going. Okay, that right there is wallpaper material. And 500 points for all of that. Matso might be in trouble now. 200 more points after that one. Now on to the backstretch. Good slaloms. Oh, he spins across the line for 200 extra points. Not bad, a surprisingly great run from the Warriors. That amounts to 2,400 well-deserved points, beating No Curry and Matso pre-judge. And let's see, they've given a 9, a 9, and a 10. Not bad. This is huge for them. This amounts to a total of 5,200, putting Comet Motorsports on top of the leaderboard currently. Nice job from Fritz, giving Comet Motorsports a real chance at a title. Next up, we have the dynamic duo, Bobby and Kurt Kornhoff, driving a Ferrari GTO, the most expensive car in the world, valued somewhere around $50 million for Old Glory. Hopefully they can turn their current luck around after Yas Marina and a terrible run from Trailblazer. Okay, a small tease for 30 points. And a little drift for 50 points. And that was a beautiful smooth drift through the S's for 200 points. A little slaloms into the next turn for 300 points. Executing great car control. Now it's slalom time. $100 points for it all. Okay, nice. Now for the crossover. And it's still going. A little off track. Still going now. Okay, a total of 700 points for all of that. That's huge for them. And a solid drift through there. 150 points. 100 points there. Another smooth drift, 200 points. Okay, now on to the backstretch. Big slaloms and a total of 120 extra points at the end. Not a bad run for Old Glory. Maybe they're back to form as they were at Suzuka. The duo's run amounts to 1,950 points. This total is less than the others' prejudged scores, mostly due to early run blunders, as he was just getting warmed up. Eventually, Kurt got into a groove as the run went on, but something tells me the judges will be very kind because it was a very clean run. They've given a 7, a 9, and a 9, amounting to 4,450 points. Honestly, I think they deserve more, but that nasty judge number 1 just doesn't agree. This puts Old Glory in 4th as of now, below the main line, but still a strong run and a good comeback from event number 2's total. Okay, next we have the president for the current points leaders, the Wangan MidKnightz. They're my personal favorites to win today, which is kind of sacrilege, the fact that I'm not voting for my own team, but they've been mighty good so far. Oh, and an early slide. He's the only driver to drift that corner all the way through today. A good start with 300 points. Through the S-turn and now slaloms. Not bad, another 300 points. He keeps it going out of that turn. Now slaloms. Astounding, folks. He's still going. I think the Warriors and Matso are in big trouble now. And still going. The president is not stopping. He keeps on the gas the whole time. Oh, not the cones again, no! And he finally stopped sliding after that for a whopping 1,800 points. That's huge! And a deep slide into that one. Almost lost her there for 550 points. Real smooth through there, 300 points. Okay, a little off track there, but still good for 150 points. Okay, now it's big slalom time. And he crosses the line for 150 extra points. A wonderful run. Wangan definitely performing to expectations again today, folks. So let's see. That's a total of 3,250 points pre-judge. That's really impressive. That's actually the second best pre-judge score we've ever got in the series after Crucifix. And the judges say 9, 10, and another 10. Almost a full sweep of 10s, folks. Something we haven't got yet. Bringing the president's total to an astounding 6,150 points. Still not to Crucifix's 6,700 total, so he doesn't win the Drivers' Championship, but he just might win this event, and help Wangan MidKnight win the entire series championship. Wangan now tops the list, obviously. Let's see if anyone can beat them. Next up is Cannon Carl for Liftkit Racing, driving the number 18 Subaru WRX rally car. This is the only all-wheel drive car in all of World Race Series 2021. All-wheel drive drifting requires a little bit of extra skill, but it's not impossible, and can even result in more stable drifting in some conditions. And a little slide there, 100 points. Another nice slide, 100 points. Good series of S-turns, but little smoke, 100 more points. Oh, that was beautiful. All-wheel drive drift at its best, 300 points. And slaloms, can he do it? And they look good, granted 100 points from control. Another little drift for 100 points. And 200 points through there. Only a little smoke there, 20 points. And 50 there. Ooh, that was crisp. 200 points. 200 points through there. Clean drifts all around for him. Okay, now let's see some slaloms. Alright, and across the line for 150 extra points. Not bad really as a whole. It was a lot better than I was expecting. It's refreshing to see a whole different style of drifting. All-wheel drive makes it so that the exits are really smooth and without any fishtailing at all. But it makes it a little bit harder to take risks and really drift for long periods of time. But I think Cannon Carl pulled it off as good as he could. His point total is 1,770 points, and the judges say 9, 7, and 7. Weirdly enough, judge number 1 is the outlier today. Perhaps he liked the calm all-wheel drive style of Cannon Carl's. I will say it was easy to watch. Whatever you say though, he will go down as the first driver to win over judge number 1. His total comes to 4,070, putting him in 6th behind Old Glory's dynamic duo. Though it is the worst so far today, I think it was still a good run, and it is in fact Liftkit's best of the series so far. Next up, we have Cowboy of Heavy Metal, who nearly won the World Race Series Championship last year. And after warming his tires, he's off. A nice slide into turn 1, 150 points. Whoa, all the way off track and on the S-turns. Big oops, only 50 points. Hard slide into that turn, keeps it going into slaloms. And that's 450 points for all of that. And 400 points for that series of turns right there. Sloppy though, might I add. Whoa, nice crossover. That's huge with 450 points right there. Hard slides throughout, very flashy. Another deep slide, but whoa, way in the grass. And still sliding. And across the line for 600 extra points. And that's a total of 2,120 points. For how much power that hot rod has, that's actually not very impressive. But I bet it was hard to control that on such a narrow track. So let's see what the judges say. Okay, 6, 8, and a 7, amounting to 4,220 total. This puts Cowboy in 6th place between Cannon Car and the Dynamic Duo. Unfortunately, this doesn't hold a candle or crucifixes run last session, but it is still a strong point total to contribute to the final amount. Perhaps Metalhead can bring it home in the 4th round for Heavy Metal. So, for the final run tonight, we have Surfrat for Racer's Edge driving the Radical Mini LMP car. This is the fastest car on the circuit today. Let's see what he can do. Lots of smoke into turn 1 for 200 points. Into the S-turns, whoa, way off track. Huge blunders, no points for that. But into slaloms now, and the first turn. And still sliding onto the straight. And a total of 450 points for all of that. Oh, big spin. Ouch, that will hurt him big time. Only 50 points for that slalom's attempt. Okay, flashy drift there. Oof, but terrible exit for 150 points. Okay, attractive loss of traction there. But off track again. That was for 200 points for all of that. But it could have been a lot more. And a nice drift into that corner. Now a crossover. But a bad exit for 300 points total. A little sloppy slide there for 100 points. And slaloms. And the slaloms end in a spin. And into reverse. And if you don't, what is he doing? And across the line for an extra 200 points for all of it, as awkward as it was. Okay, that was a really weird run, definitely out of character for a Racer's Edge driver, who usually drives very calm and with a lot of precision. I'm sure Surfrat will be getting a talking to by the team leader for that one, but it was still a decent run, definitely not among the worst seen so far in the series. And the judges say 5, 8, and 6. I think judge number 2 was thoroughly entertained by the whole thing, safe to say. Surfrat's final point total is 3,610. Unfortunately, though, this puts the Racer's Edge in 8th place today, behind even Lifkit Racing. An unfortunate loss for them, but I don't think it was that much of a bad run. Today was one completely filled from start to finish with good runs, contrary to the last 2 events, where there was clearly an inferior driver sitting in last place. But I think that car choice and setup really factored into today's result more than in other events, and really fast and powerful cars like Cowboy's Hot Rod and Surfrat's Radical couldn't really hold a candle to the cars that offered more control. So, here are the results from today. The Wangan MidKnightz steadfast heading to a championship, securing their 2nd victory of the year, and the President securing his 2nd ever in his rear-wheel drive converted Skyline GTR, and finishing 2nd in the Drivers' Championship so far. But if Wangan makes it to the finale, which let's face it, they probably will, he will get another chance at it. Comet Motorsports comes on strong with a 2nd place finish, really helping their situation. They've been steadily climbing, and I think they should be watched heading into round 4. Meanwhile, Matso is chilling in 3rd, a good decent run building on top of mine and Yas Marina. Hopefully Big Willie can punch our ticket to the finale in round 4. Mainline had another good run today, and Old Glory somewhat coming back from their fiasco at Yas Marina. So, let's see how the points are affected now.
This is how they sat before, with Wangan proudly resting atop the pile in the main line and Bump and Run running strong behind them. Now, this is after today, and of course after winning today, Wangan can only continue to sit atop the pile. Still the clear favorites to win the championship. Meanwhile, Comet Motorsports finally breaks through to second place, looking very strong heading into round 4. And third is Bump and Run, only 40 points behind Comet, without an outstanding run to put them on top, but a good enough one to keep them in third. Still solid enough to build on top of, but can Big Willie hit it home next time? We'll have to see. And fourth is the main line, sinking from second with a subpar run in comparison to their previous ones, but still substantial to keep them in the top 5. Staying in fifth is Heavy Metal, riding after their awesome run Crucifix had in the last event. Unfortunately, it wasn't good enough to move up a place, but round 4 might present some opportunities. Staying in 6th is the Racer's Edge, with a pretty subpar run, just like Heavy Metal, but not too bad of a fall to drop below the next 2. And after that, it's Lift Kit and Old Glory at the bottom, same as before, both with the only sub 10,000 point totals as of now. But Old Glory has closed the gap between them and Lift Kit now. Both had better runs today than before, climbing somewhat out of their points hole, but it will still take a near perfect run to put them in the championship battle. Really, they can only aim for second place to get in the finale, and still, that would take a miracle on its own, which I doubt will happen, but still a good effort from their drivers today. So, that's as it stands now. Pretty good runs from everyone today. Next time we'll be going to Britain to race on the now decommissioned former Top Gear test track, which is awaiting demolition currently, but thankfully we can burn it down one last time on the legendary track. Event number 4 will feature the race spec class, which is the upper echelon of each team's niche, and the fastest, most powerful cars each one has to offer. But contrary to Daytona, Top Gear has a lot of room to drift on. It's pretty much the widest racetrack on Earth since it is an airfield. So it should produce some absolutely insane point totals by the end, which could shake up this leaderboard more than anything we've seen so far. Either way, I'm very excited to see how it goes. But until then, take care and happy racing.